Hi, everyone. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Um, I know that it pisses off the haters the way that I talk and enunciate. So, hey, haters, how are you? Bombshell tonight. They'll write things like, and you'll see them. They'll be like, "Why do you do that with your voice?" I don't know. It's my voice. Would you rather I talk all monotone? And then, I'll get all tempted and be like, well, why don't I listen to your voice and get some tips? And it'll always be that asshole that has no videos and no subscribers. So just a troll, just a troll. Someone who doesn't want to be known for their opinion, but they have one. So, and like I say, everybody gets one shot. You can always comment on my channel. Whether or not that's your last comment on that channel is yet to be determined. Because if it is something that a hater would say that I don't like, I will just go and block you from ever being able to comment on my channel again from that channel. So you'll have to do the hard work, like, Feral Michelle, and go through all of the hard work of making a new channel because she's such a brainiac. It just takes her a short time. But for the rest of you all, it would take forever. So the haters don't like when I bring up details of my past, which I do to show that I'm not coming from a point of judgment. I'm coming from a point of I've experienced an awful lot in my 51 years of life. Thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. I really appreciate that. I've been in a lot of situations and a lot of situations that which should have killed me that they didn't, and they didn't. It didn't. Whatever didn't. And so I like to talk about those to shed insight. I know my haters hate that I say I'm sorry. As I've explained, I use the F word a lot. So as I'm trying to tone that down, whenever you hear it, just know that if I was just sitting there talking to you over one of my Starbucks drinks, I'd be saying the F word every time there's an So, I got to get out of this. Now, watch what I've done, you guys. Watch this. Look at how much I'm growing. I listen to good feedback. I don't listen to the haters. So, look at that. Look at that. The feedback that I was getting was that my screen was really as we know, some people thought that was a screensaver, that beginning screen of OBS. The OBS system gives me that internal camera so I can show you this. So I'm actually on a laptop. Some like I used to do my when I started, I did my videos from my phone, and I would just put like a it was during the pandemic when I was doing my videos for my first channel, and I would just put my face mask over the camera and be talking while I was driving. I used to drive a lot, go places, and now I really don't go as many places. And ultimately, my phone started having an issue holding that much and recording, and I'd have to get them uploaded right away, or I couldn't do anything else. So I invested in a laptop, and the way that this works is that the laptop there's a running system that you can download that I had the teenagers help me and explain I could do this called OBS. So it's like the Open Broadcasting System. You'll see that a lot of creators use that. There's a lot in there that I'm not uh, really in tune with how to make it work. There's a lot of features that can be done, and I was just leaving it on that because it reassured me that everything was working because I could see my voice fluctuating back and forth. Uh, as I have done a video, I did this whole Anna Nicole thing and did her autopsy, everything, whole story, did this beautiful presentation for y'all, and there was no sound on it. So the OBS system being open helped me to be able to be sure that I could see my voice was being caught and everything like that. I did not consider how that was for y'all, as y'all have been so good about knowing that I'm an old woman. And so you knew that my channel was more podcast style where you could listen to it. In the beginning, when I would talk and people would say that they loved listening to me while they um, gardened, uh, showered, did dishes, slept, everything. So as time went on, I started getting a little bit better, and that's where I had the internal camera and I was able to show the discovery. And so then maybe that's where we made the switch where it was more, my channel became more where you wanted to see what I was seeing at the same time. And then when I went back, I didn't do that as seamlessly as I should have. And I apologize. So I want to tell you guys the reason why it's not as simple as you think to just put up a picture, any picture, is because there is one pest among us that has a name of 3 letters who will be unnamed for this moment. The name shall not be mentioned. But he is a nuisance, and he has paired up with some of the desperate, dare I say, housewives, because they're not married. Desperate, desperate bleach blondes that um like to dox. So they found him to be quite a nice new pet in their little group of circus freaks. And what he did in solitary confinement was he learned all kinds of new ways of filing lawsuits that were frivolous. He created so many frivolous lawsuits. I say lawsuits because it's just funny. Like, you don't want to say lawsuits because they're going to be laughed out of court. So they're LOL suits. I first heard that term on Burnt Toast, my favorite creator's channel. Lawsuits. I love Burnt Toast. If you guys have not listened to Burnt Toast, go over and listen to some Burnt Toast. Go get you some Burnt Toast. Dip it in some yogurt. She's a great girl. So ultimately, it sounds like Deets on the Streets did an amazing backstory on this little turd, and all that he did. I should link that at some point. I will remember to do that. I'll do that. I don't want it to be that I am speaking on him or I will get a cease and desist on this one. But they basically said that he couldn't file any more lawsuits. Well, he got out and he has been being a real wild one. Now he's got a bleach blonde who's asking him to do her bidding. So anytime that there's a creator that a certain bleach blonde doesn't like, she releases her pet to do her bidding. And what he does to get videos down that are made about certain people or just to mess with that creator who has spoken out about them, he goes for the profile picture or any picture within the video saying that it's his picture, that it's a copyright infringement because he owns the right to that picture. He owns the right to that profile picture. He owns the right to that picture in your feed. If you just got something off the internet to use as a screensaver, do you know if it's copyrighted? Do you know who owns the copyright? 9 times out of 10, you don't. 9 times out of 10, it's not yours. You just grab something to look at, okay? So I knew that. I knew that I was on the radar. They'd already taken my channel down entirely once, and I was able to get it back. Thank you. But since then, I've been very careful to not make it easy. I'm sure they'll take my channel down again and I'll show that I've not done anything wrong again and we'll get it back up. But if you ever come across my channel and it says that I'm down, because like I say, when it was down, it was down. It looked the same as Farrell's. I mean, it said straight up, my channel was taken down due to a violation of terms of service. It was down, and I had never had any warnings or anything. I've already spoken about this, as you know, and they took down a lot of channels when they did that. They thought they were real splendid. So, this picture is a masterpiece. This picture was from this sweet dragon hunter who came to me today. I like to call her a dragonfly, but she's so big that she's a dragon hunter. She was about the size of my hand. And she was, I like to say she, but I think most dragon hunters are he. But I felt the feminine in energy on her. And she was really overheated and she was stuck in the fender of a car um, quite tight. And so I got her out really, really carefully, as you can see. But she's missing an eye, and she tried to fly, but she just wasn't able to. So I ran into the house and I got a container. I keep containers by the back door for instances such as these. And I put some sugar water so she could try and got some food for her, but it was too late. And so a couple minutes later, she folded her arms, as you can see, and she passed. But she'll be forever mine to do amazing pictures like this for. And they are mine. So if JLR comes after me, he can bite me because this is my picture. Oops, did I say who it was? Ah, bite me. Oh. My I get overtaken. So now this is actually two mugs that I bought today. They're tumblers. And together because I couldn't get her on one, because I wanted her on this iridescent one because it's actually a unicorn prism, and the other one just has that. But it turned out that she was big enough to go between the two, and this kind of made a neat effect, I think. So it's really important to me that she came to me today, as this is the third day. It was almost exactly the same time as something very traumatic happened to me, as I found the victim of it was a very short search for somebody um, and I found her, and I don't want to I can't sorry. It's very symbolic that I found this 3 days after I found her, and um she had just passed away. So um I I'm having a hard time. I was taking some time off as the toxicity of Farrell and the back and forth with her had really gotten to me. And I was insulted by people saying that I was part of the problem because I was going back and forth with her and going back with and forth with her, and I was making money on it. And I've always been very forthcoming with all of you. And you know that to date, out of my channel being 11 months old, I have made a total of $70 altogether, the whole year, not each month, not each day. The entire year, I'm at $70. So for all that I put in, everything else, we know that I invested about $4,000 into being a creator and doing what I've done. And I made about $70. Having a hard time justifying this hobby as I didn't go into it for the money, and nobody should, because it's not about that. It is not about that. It is about giving a platform for other voices to be heard. And that is why I truly feel that I am a creator, and the tragedy pimps are tragedy pimps. They are exploiters, they are scammers, they are coming here because they've been laughed off of every other place in our society. And for me to be accused of going back and forth with her is something that I don't see where I have done that. I have watched what was going on for a very long time. I spoke about it in several of my lives when I was doing solely Watts content. I referred to her initials only and continued to watch at a distance because my my subscribers, my friends, didn't want that in their lives, and nobody should want that in their lives. I watched and watched and watched until I couldn't watch it anymore, and I decided to be a part of the solution. And in so being part of the solution, I felt that it was unfair that Penelope of Penelope's Lane was getting all of the hate because she did the right thing. From the beginning, she laid Michelle's shit bare. Okay? She laid her shit bare. She put every single thing out there as it was, as was public record. Okay? And Penelope got nothing but hate, and she got doxxed, which compromised her personal security. People then started saying things about Penelope and saying, well, if she's in the addiction field, blah, 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 blah. Both ways about it. Okay? But what it needs to be known is that if Penelope put this out there, she did nothing wrong, because to help an addict is to give them a glimmer of what they look like. To help an addict is to say, unless and until. So unless you do this, and until you do this. And it is a matter of unless and until. And as long as there is a breath in the addict, they can be saved. Now, somebody could argue a good dose of naloxone could push that breath, some CPR. Somebody could get, real feisty with me. She could say, well, you can't really say that anymore because of our advanced technology. But unless and until the person wants help and straightens themselves the F up, they are not your problem or concern. This is the problem. I tried to say what was going on, and nobody wanted to listen because they still want to play in the Michelle shit show merry-go-round. Michelle merry-go-round, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what's so fascinating about that feral Michelle. But anyway, in an effort to pull some of the hate off of Penelope, I took her videos and updated them to what the situation was, where it was. Now, somewhere in that, Penelope was able to not have her videos up. However, I don't know. I don't know Penelope from anything other than what you have all seen. I'm very transparent. So if you've seen me comment with Penelope back and forth, that's all that there has ever been. There's nothing behind the scenes. Nothing. Okay? So when my videos went up, I wanted them to be there as record for what she had done, how she did it, when she did it, so that then her ex could come along, and if he grew his balls back, he could take it to court. Now, at this point, he needs to grow his balls back, or, as you've seen in the conversations that we've had, he's going to be the one behind bars when she does something stupid with his firearms. She wants to claim that she's this, so disordered, horrible. bipolar, oh, all these complications, horribly, horribly mentally ill. Oh, it's bad. Well, then how do you have those firearms in your possession? The second that she let off that firearm in the living room of their home and made a United States veteran go and run upstairs and barricade himself and call 911, there should have never been another gun in that woman's vicinity. That pussy that she is, calling herself roundhouse kick girl, yeah, right. She's a chicken shit because she knows that if she ever talked to anybody the way that she talks online, it lasts about 2 seconds with a roundhouse kick because somebody grabbed that little foot on those chicken legs and hold her by it and then go take her somewhere and, well, maybe try and get her sober. I don't know what the hell you do once you got a hold of her. You don't want to keep her. But you know what? Tara does. Tara does. Tara does. She can be Tara's roommate and Lisa C's roommate. They can both have her leech off of them until the end of time for what they've done. Because that's what this is coming to. They know that they don't have a dick, probably, so she won't stick around because she likes to have her marks with a dick. But on the topic of dicks, again, ETN has to find his and his balls and report those firearms as stolen. Or there's going to be a Ruby Ridge in her little wherever the hell she is and wherever the hell she is, okay? Some of you might be too young to know what I'm talking about, Ruby Ridge. Google it. You'll see. I do believe that ETN needs to call the ATF at this point and report the situation. The sheriffs are, in my opinion, not acting in a way that is responsible for the community. They have seen her in full action. Okay? When she discharged that firearm by that report that was read, ETN, is the nice man that he is, says, oh, she's having a bad day. She didn't have her medication. So we got to get her medication. He doesn't say, what he should have said is, help. Help. Because apparently he had Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know. But he just went along. They went to the ER. Well, she continued to headbutt the lieutenant, scratch and bite the EMTs trying to help her. And she needed to go to the hospital because she's such an idiot that she cut herself firing. And she wants to sit there and talk smack like she's freaking Annie Oakley. And she cut her hand firing a weapon. Is this speaking to anybody to know that she did not even have proper training on how to hold a handgun because she didn't know about the kickback? What the hell? Does she watch some movies and see, did she hold it sideways like the mamacita that she is, like the real OG? Is that what she did? So what I'm saying is to put me in this that, oh, I'm going back and forth with Michelle and I'm creating a toxic culture and I'm making money on this and everything. No, not making any money on it. Like I said, anybody else can put what they've made. And I'm not talking about putting up one thing. I'm talking about put up what you've made in every single thing. Put up how much you've made in your Venmo, your PayPal, all of your YouTube, every single way that you accept money, every single way that you've made yourself to say. I've just never seen it. I mean, there's this meme going around now where it's this homeless person and it's going around, this homeless man is going around with this ATM, like not, or a credit card machine. like little Venmo on his phone, so he can take credit cards now. I'm going, that's gonna be Michelle. She's gonna be out there. Can you cash app me? Can you cash app? I need a cash app. I need to buy some food. I need to buy some food in bulk. Can you cash app me? Can you cash app me? Can you cash app me? She'd be running up to every freaking car. She'd be running all over the road. Running all over the road like freaking Frogger. She'd be all over the road. Can you cash app this? No problem, I have Venmo. No problem, I have PayPal. She's not going to let them off with they don't have Cash App, they don't have Venmo, they don't have PayPal. She's going to be like, let's go to the next ATM machine. Okay, this is how it's going to go. Y'all think it's funny. Let's enable her. Let's enable her. Let's enable her. No. Let's stop her. But no, if you do that, then you're a problem. Oh, but if you're too kind to her, you're a problem. But you know what? If you try and lay it down and just keep a record of what's going on, then you're toxic. No. I held off in even putting her full name in a lot of things, and then I saw that a lot of people were. So I was like, okay, then that's how it goes. So then it's in a hashtag. So I edited and I went back, and I don't think that I ever put her active channel down. As she went with the actual MGL, I think that I put MGL Michelle, something like that, so that people would know who I was referring. But I don't believe, because as soon as I say it, then somebody will find who I did this. Well, I never intended on having any kind of back and forth with her. This is not a two-way conversation. She's an asshole. I'm not. I'm calling out her behavior for what it is so that other people's lives may be saved. Because right now, at the rate that she's going and the dangerous behavior that she has, somebody else is going to lose a loved one. Okay? Now, I did what I did in writing the open letter to YouTube and Google. As I saw her writing her stuff on Facebook. Okay, I was the first one to do that, to see what she was putting over there on the Facebook. And I did all of that, and I put this out. Okay, so I did that, put it out there as it was, so that then the people who need to see it can see it. And I put it out there in both ways that they would see it, as this very sympathetic feral to the very vile feral. I showed both sides so that they can see both sides of what's going on. Okay? Whether or not that helped things, I don't know. We will never know. There's not one good way to do this. And I asked for help in getting it sent upwards. And you guys all did that. You guys all helped me. And I opened up a Twitter. I opened up my twat. There you go. Clip that, bitches. I opened up a Twitter. Because what is the past tense of a Twitter? Isn't it a twat? I twat? I don't know. Did you twat? When you ask somebody what's their Twitter, do you say, what's your twat? I don't know. As you've all been around from the beginning, as those of you who've been around from the beginning, you know that I was saying twat from day one. And now it's really picking up. Haven't you seen the YouTube? Let's really go to the twat mode. I mean, honestly. So, I don't see how I have been going back and forth. I don't see how I've been contributing to the toxicity. I don't see that I've went back and forth. I see that I've laid the shit out, so it's there. I see that I've documented it, so it's there. I see that I've put it out there so that the powers that be can see it. I don't see that that's toxic. I think that our YouTube streets have been clogged up by this train wreck for long enough. And I tried to put up other content. You can see it there. Look at the other content I put up. I don't know if you guys can see the views from where you are or not, but the views on what I put up on the other topics that I've put up versus what anybody gets on Michelle, which I am not getting anything on her. I mean, I'm telling you that. Yes, I get more views, but I'm not getting anything compared to the people who do go back and forth. So If you think that there's a problem, look at the people who do go back and forth and see how much money they've made. Now, is it wrong to make money on that? I don't know. What I do say is if you have made money on her and she has caused you that headache, go out and buy yourself something pretty. You did it. You made the choice to do it. You're not a victim. Get out and buy yourself something nice and then hold it up and put it up and see, look what I bought from the money you earned me, you freaking twat. That's what I'm saying. But if I say that, oh, it's a big thing. Because you just can't speak straightforward in these YouTube streets. There's got to be someone on each side saying, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. So, I've been away for a couple few weeks. I'm getting my bearings back on, but I'm still going to be just kind of slowly coming back. I'm a little wounded. Kind of like this dragonfly. Isn't she gorgeous though? Like I say, I think she's a girl. It's beautiful. Look at I have always had a love for dragonflies. Today was not my first rodeo, okay? I've started liking dragonflies. Think I don't know. I put a fountain out in front of my house in Seattle. And it was like a fountain. I had it lit up at night. It was really neat. This yard company had went out of business, so they had all this stuff. And I ended up getting this fountain, and it was just so neat. And all of these dragonflies would come, and I would step outside, and they would just land on my hand and sit with me for a little bit. And I'd talk to them again, just like possums. They are great listeners. And I began to just really love them. And then as I've gotten older, I really respect the spiritual connection to them, and I really um, take a moment, and I'm grateful when I do have an interaction with a dragonfly, or in this case, as a dragonfly hunter. I just love this. So, like I say, this is my photo. I like the way that her wings show on the other tumbler with the. I needed to wait until after I'd said that so that, well, I don't want to say the brand of the tumblers because then who will say, oh, I guess you can't see the name of them. Those are Starbucks tumblers. These are the ones that came out 2 days ago. The one on the left is the Unicorn Magic one. And the other one, it's not part of the oil spill one, but it's got like a, as you can see, it's kind of a pink and turquoise kind of thing. And I've always loved that pink and turquoise, purplish put together thing, kind of like, oh, I like the movie Sleeping Beauty. That's my favorite. And so I kind of like that coloring of like Sleeping Beauty there. So, on another note, I wanted to say something about lawsuits, okay? It's going to be very difficult for the right thing to ever be done until and if there is case law um, that starts to lay out the wild, wild internet. The wild, wild west that the internet is. There is no internet police per se. Unless and until you have the name of somebody and what they're doing, when they did it, and you can prove that they did it, this led to this led to that, this caused that, and you can find an attorney, and you're in the right jurisdiction, and you can pay for an attorney to do this. There's all these moving parts. People think because they see things on TV that lawsuits are real easy to file. And in the real world, okay, but they're getting harder and harder to file. Now, in the 80s, yeah, it was the slip and fall thing. And everybody, I can hear you guys out there right now. You guys are going, oh, yeah, like the lady who sued for her hot chocolate being too hot. Excuse me. That lady had hot chocolate that was actually straight out of hell. Like a demon had like risen up in the hot chocolate world. And that lady had to have skin grafts in her crotch. So if you're 80 and you're having your vulva skin um, replaced by other skin, that's not a frivolous lawsuit. Lawsuit. That's an actual lawsuit. When you have to have your crotch skin grafted back on and you're 80, you're going to get a paycheck. You're not just going to be like, oh, McDonald's has some darn hot chocolate. I did order hot chocolate. What was I supposed to expect? Is it a problem I need to go and put my crotch back on? No, nothing like that. If you look into it and you, I think they actually, isn't it like a whole documentary on the McDonald's lawsuit and how invasive it was? Because I personally get mad when people bring that up, and I'm like, do you know that woman's crotch like melted off or no? Like what? Yeah, her whole entire crotch melted off. So because of things like that, frivolous lawsuits, and because of people like JLR who were taking advantage of any opportunity they could to file lawsuits, there has been some correction on that part, even in the real life. Now, when you go to the internet, you don't know who's doing what, where things are going, especially in these YouTube streets. So, as damaging as things are, generally something cannot be done. Now, I'm a little bit out of the loop in some of the things that I've heard, but I think that I heard it right that our friend Lisa was at her workplace and somebody came there because of stupid Farrell sicking them on her. Okay. So that's something that can have a causative action because you can say this person went to this person's employer, asked for this person because this person right here, who is not supposed to be on YouTube, who has violated the terms of service over and again, breaking all of those terms of service, not supposed to be there, not protected by YouTube, not following those rules, and we know her name, where she lives, okay? You can say this person did this, which led to this harassment. That is a whole separate thing than a whole lawsuit. That can be seen as criminal in nature, criminal harassment, criminal stalking, and something can be documented. And if it continues to happen, then the person doing the harassment can be charged. But these are all very different and complex aspects. So, what we have to do with people like Michelle is not allow the enabling, as there is no real solution to her behavior. Nobody would believe that this woman has been able to uproot friendships, common creator groups, the basic flow of an online community as she has with her disruptive and outrageous behavior. She herself could not have pulled it off without the excessive amount of enablers. Do you see her going back to the hospital? No, you don't. She went to the hospital, and we saw her in the hospital, and that's where a person with such a serious infection should be, correct? But the hospital saw her behavior as being incongruent with a healing atmosphere. They saw her behavior as outrageous. They saw her not being consistent with her history that she was telling them. They saw her taking medication and mixing it with alcohol and mixing it with at home prescriptions, which means that they were not prescribed at that time. They discharged her, they kicked her out. Now, I hear you guys going, no, no, I saw the paperwork. Yes, it took them a time to do so. They didn't just go, get out, and go and chase her. Now, no, did they? No. They waited, they warned her. They had multiple staff members come in and warn her. She was warned. We saw security come in. They warned her. The doctor said what he said, and you notice the doctor did not mention any strokes. Now, isn't that funny? Now, knowing that she did never actually have a stroke. And everybody's like, well, you should get a second opinion because that doctor doesn't sound right because he didn't say anything about your strokes. Yeah, because that doctor knows what her medical history is. Why wasn't anybody listening to the facts and the truth as to what we were all saying? Gee, that doctor's saying that because he knows she's not had a stroke. She have a stroke with her addict behavior and the horrible way in which she lives her life and the excessive cigarettes? Yeah. Do you expect her to be anything different with the amount of cigarettes, drugs, and alcohol that you've seen her imbibe in? Okay. So the hospital wrote out a very lengthy discharge that included all of the things. And there's most likely things it did not show, as it probably said basically the concept of unless and until, because that's what you do. When you're running a hospital and you have all of these people who are sick and injured and need these beds, this was especially true in the pandemic, okay? Let's say that in the pandemic you have 50 beds and you have 300 people needing them. Are you going to waste a bed on somebody who wants to sit there and be on their phone and use it as a freaking telethon there, the Farrell Michelle telethon of Cash Apps and Venmo saying that she can't afford to be in this hospital to get well because of how much it's going to cost, so she's got to have a little telethon there? Or are you going to give it to the person who is telling the truth, who's being a good part of their healing and resting and hydrating and listening to what the doctors are saying and being off their phone because they're truly ill enough that they cannot be on their phone? Who are you going to give that bed to? Who are you going to focus your resources on? Okay, well, let's say that Farrell Michelle has something life-threatening. Well, doesn't matter. It does not matter unless and until she is compliant. Then she is a threat to herself and others in their healing in that area. Now, it is my belief that she should have been seen as a threat to herself and others in a way that she should have gotten a 5150. I believe that the sheriff's department should have put a 5150 on her. Knowing her history, knowing what the sheriffs have seen, knowing that the sheriffs have seen her do these things. And so when people have seen the same behavior and they call it in, for the sheriffs to just laugh it off and not go is not the right answer. I'm sure that they know that she won't get help, and maybe there's more to the story that she's already, burned out all of their resources and they've all tried to help her and everything else. But that still does not mean that she's not endangering the lives of others, as we have seen that she is. So, the hospital said, unless and until. Basically, unless you want to get sober, until you stop doing these things, do not come back. And you didn't see her come back, did you? You saw her go to the outpatient. You saw her do this. You saw her do that. Look at what you do see. not what you don't. Always with a person like Michelle, this is a huge learning opportunity. An addict is going to tell you all of these things exist, that all of these things are going to happen, that all of these things are in the works. And you know what? None of it is true. You wait until you see, unless and until with an addict, unless and until. And you wait for them to bring you those results. Now, as I'm a little bit out of the loop, you guys are going to have to tell me what's going on with Mr. Wonderful and in her girls' trip to Florida, because I'm not up to speed there. But this thing was going on in Facebook 10 years ago, and it was over TV shows. So there were certain TV shows that people were getting together and having groups to talk about um, common common TV shows and the things were going on in TV shows. So within those groups, talking about this TV show or that TV show, there would be moderators for the group. And within the moderators would be talking behind the scenes. So it was very much, Facebook groups were very much similar to what YouTube is now, especially when you have the panels and you have the people talking behind the scenes, because the moderators were talking behind the scenes. So all the while when people are just commenting and you think that they're just commenting, you have this team of moderators who are watching who that person is, going and looking at them. Now, what started happening was people didn't, very soon in social media, it became that, oh, okay, so if you're this person and it shows that you like this show and you like that show, oh my gosh, how is your employer going to feel if you like this show, you like that show, or you said this in this group or whatever? So people started to form sock accounts. They called them socks. I didn't understand, but the kids were calling them sock accounts. I finally figured it out because, oh, I guess you take your socks off. So it's like, okay, so you take your socks off and you put different socks on. I don't friggin' know. Same as what we call troll profiles, okay? So then these groups would say no sock profiles. You must have a verified account to be in this group. Well, very similar to how these YouTube groups are, where they want you to give them a cash app or they want you to do this because they want to see who you are, what your name is, and they want to know everything about you. That way, if you ever do say anything bad about them or they associate you with saying something bad with another person, then they are going to blackmail you with your personal information being exposed. This is what has been going on in Facebook for years. Okay? So, these moderators would be watching these comments. And they'd start to pit people against people and start to delete certain comments and allow certain fights to go on, blah, blah, blah. All while making sure that everybody there was somebody who they knew who they were, etc., etc. Well, this one group got really big and really bad for bullying. Intense bullying. Sheriffs were being called all the time. Police called all the time. Threats of threats of murder. Because these fights were very, very intense. And I sat back and I watched it all. I watched it and I watched it and I watched it and I watched each side fight and finally wormed my way up to the top. Figured out what was going on. Started watching the top too, and I figured out, I'm like, wait a minute, this top says all this stuff about how everybody else has to have their real profile and it has to be verified and everything. But there's no way to verify who this top dog is. What's going on? Well, I started asking the question, so then I watched. And top dog and number two started fighting. Top dog finally fell out with number two. So I went to number two and I said, "What's going on? This doesn't make any sense because how can this person who's basically running everything, 24/7, 365, be saying this as a rule, but then she doesn't practice it?" No, I got all the details. So what had happened was the person who didn't want their stuff to be revealed, it's because they were one of the first few creators on social media to be successfully sued for slander and libel. The way it went down was the person who was at the head of the helm basically, gosh, I think it might have even been, was it even like on a MySpace forum, something similar to that in the very beginning. And this girl got in a fight with her brother. So this woman wrote some things about this girl that got in a fight with her brother to the effect of this girl had herpes, saying this girl had herpes. So it got around rather quick in the social media forums that this girl had herpes. She didn't. It was just because she was doing this because she messed with her brother. So she was being the protective sister. Well, that reputation of having herpes personally affected this girl so badly. She was so humiliated that she became S. And ultimately, as they were able to find out, of course, who did this by reason of elimination, figuring it out, an attorney for the person who was being harassed, said to have had herpes, he went and he filed a lawsuit to the telephone company. Because back then we were all dial up, so your telephone company was who had your internet, so you have just dial up right there. So he was very much ahead of his time and he did this lawsuit. And he won. There was no, it was a very, very ahead of the time. It was very impressive. So he sued for the person who got this reputation for having herpes. They got the woman who was saying it, and she was using her parents' line because she was one of those who had failed to launch. She was, I think, 40 something, still living with her mom and dad. And was using their phone. So the parents were the holder of the account for the phone line, the landline. So they were secondarily mentioned in the lawsuit for allowing her to use it. Ultimately, this judgment came in on the parents' house. So they had no money, of course. Unless and until that home sells, that person who was talked about won't get any money. Ultimately, she will. So this woman continues to live in that house with her parents. And the last I heard, the dad was very, very ill. But she's just sitting there smoking her cigarettes next to his oxygen machine. He's still alive. And of course, she got the rubber stamp in the 80s because of her getting the civil suit on her. Then, she had PTSD. And what do you know? Borderline personality disorder. So she got the rubber stamp to get SSI. Now, I say it in that way, as you all know that I've shared that I have the borderline personality disorder diagnosis. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't know. But I don't receive SSI. We'll talk about that some other time. It was a disorder they were placing on everybody and anybody. And when you have postpartum depression to a certain degree and whatnot, they put that on there. But like I say, I don't have SSI. I don't get any of that. She did because she was one of the Michelles. So she was a Michelle with a parent she could still live with. So She was sitting there being this horrible internet terrorist once again on social media, tearing apart people's lives on Facebook, having thousands and thousands of people fight over her little stupid games. So she had her number two, paying for the heat, the oil, electricity, everything at her parents' home because, she's a Michelle. She has her SSI, but that's got to go for cigarettes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then, of course, those Michelles, they always start their little fights with whoever they get in with. They always get somebody in who will start paying their bills and giving them all this money and enabling them and covering for them and everything. And you just have to watch and wait, and it will fall apart. It does fall apart. It always will fall apart. You just have to be patient. So I knew about that. And I've watched other people really try to bring causative action. And I'm talking about actual victims of social media, where we have tragedies in our society where you have 8-year olds, literal 8-year olds, taking their own life because they cannot avoid the humiliation of what social media does. Because when you go to school and everybody's on their phones and they're harassing you via social media, then you go home and that social media is still there. The bullying that used to only be at school, you could sometimes go home or go to a friend's house and not have to deal with the bullying full time. The bullying never goes away, and literally you're having 8-year olds. I know of several 8-year olds who have taken their own lives. Those are the kind of things that are going in front of our leaders right now, is trying to find out where the limits need to be with social media and how limits need to be. And I can't caution anybody enough to really talk to your kids about what's going on online. And I tried to always keep it so that I could see my kids' activities. So I always had them like in a family room and their screens were faced towards me. But a couple of things got past me, and there were issues. There were definitely issues. Um, so those kinds of things are out there. So the things that Michelle is doing and whatnot, unfortunately, there is no good answer. The only answer is to report those channels to YouTube and have them taken down. That's it. There is not anything else that is going to be done. Of course, we can hope that those guns are taken away. We can hope that footage of her driving drunk and making a mockery out of it, thinking she's so funny, will go to the right people. And you, obviously, if the sheriff isn't listening, then really send them to the groups that will uh, act. Send them to the advocacy groups, the mothers against drunk driving, the students against drunk driving. I Like I say, I have a friend who lost his 15-year-old son to a drunk driving car accident. He was a passenger, and his friends were drunk, and he was a 15-year-old passenger partying with his friends, and he was ejected from the vehicle. And I have spent countless nights and one entire Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the day after Christmas with my friend on the phone, crying and screaming in his broken father heart over the loss of his son. I would have told him about Michelle, but Michelle wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes after. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. She's going to pull this shit in front of the wrong person. She thinks she's so funny with it, but It's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. So when I saw it coming across my feed again and I put it up and put the numbers to that, I know that a lot of you were like, "Did this just happen today? What's going on?" I'm sorry that it wasn't current. It's just that it was being passed around again. And I was like, "Well, nothing ever happened to it, so here, here's this clip with the right people to contact. I hope that it works." Um, that being said, as I'm getting back into this, and I'll be able to focus more next week. Um, please like and subscribe. I know that my likes and stuff are really up there, but my subscriptions are still kind of flailing. I wanted to get to 2,000 for my birthday, and I had went up. I saw, and then I was not here, so I'm right back down where I started. So please subscribe. I really appreciate seeing the numbers. Thank you so much for subscribing, and please subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming up because, as I've explained, I live very, very close to the courtroom that is going to host Katie Joy. And so I'll be able to be there at the courtroom. And I don't know that they're going to allow, I don't know if it's going to be um, via Zoom or what, but I can be there watching her getting out of the car every day for y'all. I can do that. So like and subscribe because you're gonna want to be able to see that I can give you that exclusive footage. And we'll watch her nose get into the courtroom and then her body like 5 minutes later. And I only say that because she's a shit person that talks horribly, horribly to her disabled child. Okay, you know me. There's a consistency in the people that I dislike, and it is people who are not friendly to animals or children or veterans. Just don't be an asshole, and it's fine. I won't take pictures of you in unflattering ways or say bad things about you. But you do this. So as I'm getting caught up, I saw this thing that Possum Wrangler did. And Possum Wrangler, if you've not liked and subscribed to her, please do. I had Possum Wrangler on my panel. I still intend on doing a series of healing panels. We're all kind of coming together and healing after the damage that Michelle has done. Michelle and I talked about, not Michelle and I, Michelle and I, really? Michelle and I, Michelle and me, yeah, we're behind everything. Clip that. Oh, God, I can only hear it. Possum Wrangler and I um, spoke about our Suboxone histories. My Suboxone story is on here. I don't appreciate me being lumped into something that it isn't. I have chronic, unrelenting pain, and because of people who have abused opioids like Farrell, I chose not to be treated like a piece of shit and stigmatized every time I went to the doctor. So I put myself through rapid detox with Suboxone induction. And it turns out the Suboxone actually works really well with my pain as I have the MTHFR motherfucker gene mutation, which interferes with the way that substances are absorbed in my body. So, Suboxone, being that it is absorbed in a very soluble form, actually works great on me. So, I don't appreciate being lopped into something that, oh, yeah, well, you're on Suboxone, so you're lesser. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you to anybody who wants to say that. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to say fuck you in just a minute. But anyway, I also have people who are really reaching out to me from their stories of infant loss in the things that Michelle has talked about. I did not have anybody who wanted to speak on my panel about it because it's too painful and too raw for them, and I respect that. I did do a recording on infant loss, as there was a great a story that a lady shared in her triplet pregnancy that resulted sadly in a miscarriage, loss and stillborn, miscarriage, stillbirth, and then loss. So the poor woman experienced all three of the most terrible things that a woman can ever experience in one short period of time in her life. And I reflected on her story, and that is here. I know that a lot of you have not seen it, but it is here. And I am still framing up how I'm going to do the remainder of the panels. And I think that I want to do some separate panels on domestic violence victims, people who have been abused in military domestic violence. If you have been a victim of either and would like to talk about the way that Michelle has brought up those wounds, please let me know. If you'd like to talk to about them just because, and you guys know who you already are that have expressed those interests, we are going to do these panels. When you have topics that you want to speak with me about, go ahead and put them up. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist of any kind. I am almost completed with my master's in forensic psychology. With that being, I'm almost finished with my master's in forensic psychology. I had COVID brain really bad, and I was doing better when I was talking more often on my channel, as you guys know. But after the recent events, I'm having a really hard time with my aphasia. Um, the words aren't coming out right, and I apologize. Thank you for being patient with me. So keep emailing me, TabithaJane0 at gmail.com. Not the word zero, the letters, the number zero. Is zero a number? TabithaJane0 at gmail.com. So Possum Wrangler caught this, and I want to talk about this because this bitch is acting like she's some kind of a Christian, that she's some kind of better person than all of us because she's taken on Michelle as her little pet, which is doing nothing. In fact, her behavior is more likely to cause Michelle to be 6 feet under than anything that any of us have done in trying to hold her accountable and trying to stop others from being sucked into the dark hole that is feral Michelle. So, without further ado, I want to show you this. And thank you in advance for Possum Wrangler allowing me to use this. And thank you in advance for Possum Wrangler for catching this. When I saw this last night, I caught it, and it just really uh, threw me for a loop that somebody would be this stupid. So, Lisa Cunt, let me bring you up here. Let's see here. Where are you, Lisa Cunt? Let's see here. Let's go over here. And here you are. We're going to do, let's do here. And let's see if we can see. If I need to slow it back down, I will. But so this was actually in, so this was, I guess, in Ferals. And some of these comments are amazing. Maybe I should actually slow this shit down. But it says here too, it says, down here it says save humanity 85, ETN will win. You're trying to beat a suffering man for his money and fight that he put up for our country. That's what I wanted to thank you, Save Humanity. That was the message that I did not feel was ever being heard, and that is why I redid those videos. And thank you, Save Humanity, for hearing my message as I put it up there and I pointed it out when I procured her videos and nabbed them like I did and put them out there and showed everybody what she did to a veteran with PTSD, that she sat there and humiliated a veteran. I wanted it out there that this piece of shit is manipulating a veteran, and the alimony that she is getting is our tax dollars because she sucked for all of the abuse she did to ETN. ETN did nothing but marry this nasty old prostitute and try and make it a housewife. It didn't take. Let's also think about this. If her strokes were fixed, which we know they are, then all of the bullshit that we had to listen to endlessly about the dogs being trained because she needed to have these medical support dogs and these service dogs for her stroke and everything. Well, if her stroke was fake, then all of this bullshit about service dogs is fake. So what the hell was Valley Girl doing? Valley Girl, you got a lot of splaining to do because it doesn't make any sense. But thank you for seeing this for what it is. So, like I say, your tax dollars are paying Michelle. So, when Michelle wants anything from you, say, hey, bitch, I work, I pay taxes. Now, Michelle is trying to say that she works and she pays taxes in this. And this is hilarious because she doesn't work. She has not worked in a very, very long time. And if she is capable of working, she should go to SSDI and let them know that she is capable of working. That whatever they thought that she was so disabled from, she's been working the entire time. So, haha, the joke's on them. Now, I know that her license was sent to me, and I also have been sent information that shows that the SEC has also revoked that license. When they got divorced, ETN being the worker bee that he is, he did in fact go and get his insurance adjuster's license, and he apparently still works in the insurance field. Now, most likely she was like, ETN, ETN, let's work together from the house together so you never can have to leave the house and we can work together and we can sleep together and we can eat together and you can take care of me full time, ETN. So she mooched off of him just enough to apparently pass a test. If she's so mentally disabled, mentally this and mentally that, how'd she pass that insurance adjuster test? She must have copied off of him. So, like I say, so ETN was in the military, so our tax dollars do pay our military. Our military then pays for, or our military then has amazing insurance and is part of a benefit, as military members do not make a lot of money. One of the benefits of their service is having amazing health care. That health care is called TRICARE. Okay, she said that she has TRICARE, which I don't understand because, well, I guess maybe if ETN retired, he would have it. I'm not sure. I would have thought he would have had something else, but I don't know, and I don't know how it works in her state. But anyway, she did say that she has TRICARE. That is a benefit to military families, military. You don't. Fuck, what TRICARE? You know, it's like military. I tried very hard not to ever cost TRICARE any more than it needed to be, as my husband was in the military and our children were young. I was very sick. I was in kidney failures. I've talked to you guys about that, etc., etc. But I still never wanted to go to the doctor one too many times or anything. I didn't want to harm our system. So to see the way that she has exploited TRICARE is disgusting. That is your tax dollars. The fact that she got alimony, that comes out of tax dollars as ETN is retired from the military. So the money that he gets in retirement goes, there you go, from your tax dollars. So she has exploited the tax system to keep getting things. She herself also gets Social Security. So she's double dipping, triple dipping from our taxes. And I don't think that this is allowed. I didn't think that you could get remarried and have I don't know how her special SSI or SSDI works, because if she's saying that she was working as an insurance adjuster and getting the SSDI and making $500 an hour as a prostitute, and bitch, you've said it so many times, so don't even. Are you going to come and say that I electrically just said this so you couldn't get a roommate? And you know what? And her house is not zoned for the Airbnb crap. That was because she was stalking Molly. And y'all know that I don't like Molly. I don't like Molly because I feel that she's ripped off people. Yes, Molly had a great sense of humor. And yes, Molly's heart was in the right place sometimes. But the way in which she spends money is not. In the way in which she's not able to give a true and accountable way of money, which I will, is not right. But it is in Michelle's disgusting, indeed single white female stalking that she thought she'd be able to be Molly and have these bed and breakfasts and everything. And what's she going to be, a landlord? Again, Michelle is nothing and is going to have nothing. She will be coming up to a window near you, on a street corner near you, begging for Cash Apps, Venmos, and all the like. Then it will soon be a meme on Facebook that you'll see and be like, I know that bitch. And please, if anybody can adopt those poor dogs and give them a good home, please reach out to the shelters and whatnot and put your name out there, because those dogs need a good home, because she should have them removed for her abuse. And if they need the video of her abusing the dogs, I will be happy to provide them at any time. And I hope that they can go somewhere together and that they are loved. Maybe ETN can get his own house and um, be able to take those poor dogs. Okay, so here we go.
First of all, I don't know anybody in Best of Truth's chat, but I do have over 800 screenshots of all her, not mods, chatters talking about me and how disgusting I am, how I stick up for Michelle, how I lie. I can read some of them if you want.
Go for it, baby.
I can do that if you guys.
Okay, so this Michelle Cunt says that she has 800 screenshots of other people talking about her. And Michelle is just loving this woman and she's calling her baby. So you see up here, it's Lisa Cunt. And she is the one who's taken Michelle under her wing and thinks that she's done so much in reforming Michelle and keeping her this and whatnot. All she's done is created a bigger monster, and it's disgusting. So let's see. It says Voodoo and ISWC do not have the same pick. Voodoo is a real girl. ISWYC is a drawing. You're all not very observant, are you? Neither is JJJ. Also, Voodoo happens to be my godmother, so I'd know, okay? Just reading these. And then Save Humanity says, you want to be accepted for all your ailments, but you're trying to burn ETN for all he's worth. Exactly. Good job, Save Humanity. Right the fuck on. And I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. If you can't, this is on Possum Wrangler's page. And please give Possum Wrangler a sub. She's an up and coming creator.
I know that. Nothing to anybody. Okay? I'm just here trying to. That's all I'm saying. So, I mean, I have. This is kind of cool. So, Jules Fenner, because when you were a sub to Michelle, I don't know if you're on. Oh, I'm not a bad person. Please stop talking about me. She's going through a divorce. She's getting streamed every day by 8 different people. I know this is YouTube. I know it's the drama community. I know this is what it is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is just lighten up a little bit. Please stop. You know, if something seriously happens to this girl, it's going to be on your head, your hand.
Okay, for some reason the volume isn't there, and I don't know why. So you might need to go back and see this. So this might be where this began with Tara, because in here you can see that MGL, this is when she had that one channel, she says, Tara, 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 Tara. Tara, put your email in chat. And Lisa Cunt says, you guys, I'm just trying to say that, the screenshots, and I'm just saying this girl is going through a divorce and having a hard time, and 8 people are streaming her full time. Just lighten up on this girl, okay? Just, if anything happens to her, it's gonna be on you. Well, fuck you, Lisa Cunt. This has nothing to do with you, and you can sit back with your screenshots and shove them up your fucking ass, because you have no idea what you're doing. You are creating a bigger monster. If anything happens to Michelle, it is because of people like you enabling and coddling her. Her outrageous behavior is that would get somebody ostracized from any community that they're in, and obviously has. How many people have you actually seen Michelle with in person? If she was in an Amish community, she would be shunned. She'd be the one at the edge of the village where they were not allowed to even look at her. Okay? This is what has essentially happened to our society, is that she is shunned because of her abhorrent, obnoxious behavior. And unless and until she knocks it off, she is not going to be an accepted part of society. I don't care if she has this or that for an excuse. If this or that is an excuse, there are these things and those things that are, in fact, things that you would do for them, and she does none of them. So unless and until she stands the fuck up, pulls up her nasty ass diaper, and gets with things, I don't care about feral. And I don't know why you do either, Lisa Cunt.
Okay, just stop. There's no need for it. You don't have
Just
to go this
stop.
hard.
Just
Okay,
stop.
seriously.
Just
She
seriously.
does not lie about what she has as far as her mental disabilities, her neck and all that. Yeah,
Okay. So this Lisa Cunt here says that Michelle does not lie about what she has as far as her disease and her mental things. What disease does she have, Lisa Cunt? Why don't you expound on that? So yeah, sorry guys, I just don't. I wonder what I can do. I'm not. Um, I don't know. Well, I gotta go back. I don't know why I can't. Like I say, you're gonna have to go back and listen to this really good if you can't hear it here, because it's hard. I don't know what is going on. But what disease does Michelle have? Okay, addiction, right? Oh, but Michelle's gonna sit here and say, because in here she's gonna say all this stuff.
I know that. Nothing to anybody.
Tell 'em the
Okay,
truth.
I'm just here trying to. That's all I'm saying. So
Here,
I mean,
Minnie.
I have. This is kind of cool. So Jules Fenner, because when you were a sub to Michelle, I don't know if you're on. Oh, I'm not a bad person. Please stop talking about me. She's going through a divorce. She's getting streamed every day by 8 different people. I know this is YouTube. I know it's the drama community. I know this is what it is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is just lighten up a little bit. Please stop. You know?
Oh, okay. So Lisa Cunt, if everybody just lightens up just a little bit, come on, just give her a little break. You know what happens when you give Michelle an inch? Do you know what happens when you give Michelle an inch, Lisa Cunt? Is that she goes and she runs like the little cockroach that she is, and she goes to anybody else who has not heard the shit that she has done. And she goes and tells her little victim story. And she goes and she says, I've had a stroke and everybody's bullying me. And it's the drama community. And I didn't know they were going to be that bad. I just wanted a cute little channel where I was going to talk about cooking. And I've had a stroke. So I'm not as good as all of them. And so they all are just bullying me. And I don't know. Can you guys help me? I've had a stroke. I need help. And that's how you got what you got with Vinny, isn't it? You nasty, vile bitch.
If something seriously happens to this girl, it's going to be on your head, your hands. Okay? Just stop. There's no need for.
No, Lisa Cunt, it is up to you. If anything happens to her, it is on your hands and your head, as you say. It is you. And what are you doing? Clipping screenshots, 800 screenshots. You sound like you're 552 pounds. And you sound like you might need to get out and see some sunshine and touch some grass and not be taking 800 and some screenshots. And now let's hear what you're going to say, which is really just showing me that Lisa Cunt.
For it. You don't have to go this hard. Okay, seriously.
Seriously.
She does not lie about what she has as far as her mental disabilities, her neck and all that. Yeah, she does weird things with her neck. Just
Okay, she's saying that Michelle is not lying about what she's about her things that she with problems with her neck. That yeah, she does weird things with her neck. Is that a diagnosis, Lisa Cunt? Is that actually a diagnosis? That is what 0.192. She does weird things with her neck, and that's what she wanted to defend, so that people don't go as hard for her, so she can go and find other people and say this. No, because if the original people who had her caught and called her shit bear, Penelope Lane, when Penelope Lane called her shit bear and put it out of there, none of this would have happened. And every other missing person and every other missing child should have still been on the platform that YouTube puts there to be. The real people who need real help would be having the focus instead of Feral Michelle, because no one could figure out what Feral Michelle was all about because they were trying to silence Penelope. Because Penelope put it out there in PowerPoint form for all of you. So you guys should have just went over there being able to see, oh, Penelope wrote this. Oh yeah, that's what she's doing. Yeah, she doesn't apparently need any money. She's done this, she's done that. She's behaved like an asshole. She's an asshole. She has not changed. And unless and until she does, I'm not interested in helping her. But no, you had to attack Penelope. You had to attack anybody else. So then what happened? Because you guys all did that. So then she went to Vinny G, and Vinny G taught her how to strike channels. He gave her that little bit of power, so now she can strike channels, and she was striking channels, and told every one of her nasty mods how to do that, how to strike channels. So then they went out and they strike channels and they strike channels, and then innocent channels that do anything, that say anything or do anything against, get their channels taken down. Nice, right? That's because she went and said that she had a stroke and she needed this. And now she lied about having her stroke. And she lied about having her stroke because her friend was dying. So she didn't want to talk to anybody for a few days. Look what I just did, bitch. When I needed a little bit of time, I took a little bit of time, because that's what I honestly did, because that's what people do. And I also have the borderline diagnosis, and I managed to do that too. So what's your excuse for saying that you had a stroke? Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Tongue? Is it really? If it bothers you, why? Listen, half of your people in your chat are on Suboxone, methadone, opiate.
Okay, Lisa Cunt. You're trying to say to Michelle as if this is some way for her to feel superior, because it sounds like you're one of those people who likes to think that you're superior by flexing your Christianity, is it? Because I don't think that what you're saying is anything similar to what Jesus would do. Jesus did not stop and save the person who would not save himself. Okay? Remember that little day, Palm Sunday, all that stuff? Yeah. Jesus had his moments too, and he knew that the people who wouldn't help themselves were not worth his time. He knew that the people who were there and who would reach and believe him, he would save them. But what does Jesus say about those who deny him? He'll deny them as well. So don't act like the concept of just being open and giving to everybody is what Jesus, in fact, has taught us. You are not being a good Christian in what you are saying here. And you want to act like you have the right to yield the cross on us and say that we are not being Christian by not being compassionate to this demon, because that's what she is, an absolute freaking demon. And I am disgusted with you acting like, because you went and stalked our profiles and said, listen, half of the people in those things are on Suboxone and methadone, okay? So half of them are on that. So just consider that. Okay. So you are trying to tell Michelle, who's an active addict, in active addiction, begging and exploiting money from everybody, drinking and mixing drugs to the point of it's a shock every day that she comes back on the internet. You want to act like her behavior is better than those of us who are on Suboxone and methadone? Educate your dumb fucking self, Lisa Kant. Educate yourself. Listen to my Suboxone story. I've done nothing wrong, and neither has anybody else who's on Suboxone or methadone. It is because of the assholes like Michelle and the enablers of addicts like you that make products like Suboxone and methadone be the only option for some of us. For me, it works wonderfully. I have never asked for money for anything that was not prescribed for me. I have never not made my perfect counts when I was having opioid pain management. I have never not been 100% on point for any one of my urine tests, and I can send you any urine test you'd ever like to see. I'd even send you piss myself. I'd even piss on you if you'd ask for it. Okay? So shut your fucking mouth about people being on Suboxone and methadone and acting like that's some kind of a lower class of people. What the hell is wrong with you, Lisa Cunt?
Half of them are sick. I have studied everybody in your chat for months. Okay, just as long as you've been streaming Michelle, I know a lot about you and your chatters. Okay, I don't sit there and say anything bad, and I won't. Okay, but I could. I'm not that person. Just please respect me. Don't talk about me. This isn't my channel. I'm just trying to help a friend. Okay.
So she comes on here and tries to act like she's better, saying that she's just studying us all and then talking about us because we're on Suboxone. She's just sitting there lurking and stuff. Like I say, bitch, I see you're watching and everything. So why don't you sub while you're there?
So I feel like I'm over talking Michelle.
No, go for it, girl. You go,
I'm
girl.
just trying to be real because I'm so sick of being
Go
talked about.
for it.
Lisa C, Lisa C, Lisa C. Yeah, I'm right here. What do you need to say?
Well, I'm telling you.
What do you need to say?
I'm telling you, dumb cunt.
Talking.
What? Do you not?
See, no one say has nothing to say.
Preach it, Lisa.
Get it. I don't get it at all. Seriously. So, Michelle, no, there was there was no problem. They were just drunk.
How many videos of how many are streamed on me over there, and how many hours?
So she started her channel in
Shut
September
up.
of 2022, which is fine. She has every right to start a channel. You do too.
You know what? I think what I'm going to do is because it's so hard to hear, I think I'm going to put this on my phone and let you guys listen to Lisa Cunt on your own. Because I think that it's valuable and I don't want anything to be missed. Because this bitch wants to act so innocent that her 500-pound ass is just sitting there watching people and wants Michelle to feel better because half of us are on Suboxone. Yeah, I take that personally. I take that real personally, you nasty, vile bitch. Let me see here. Let's go over here. We're going to go over here, and we're going to go here. And thank you for your patience as we go back here. And I'll go here in my endless list of. And then. Thank you. Thank you once again while we're in my, let's see. Hold on. Hold please. Hold please. Maybe this is a good time to go pee or something. Okay. I'm going to get it right to where I'm at over here. Let's see. Because it's right in the beginning where she starts her freaking. One of those people just sounds big, you know. Well, I'm fat too. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm just saying that. Okay, let's see if this works better.
Your hands. Okay, just stop. There's no need for.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm saying about me and how disgusting I am. How I stick up for Michelle, how I lie. I can read some of them if you want.
Go for it, baby.
I can do that if you guys.
I know that.
Nothing to anybody.
Tell them the truth.
I'm just here trying to. So I'm saying. So I mean, I have. This is kind of cool. So Jules Fenner, because when you were a sub to Michelle, I don't know if you're on. Oh, I'm not a bad person. Please stop talking about me. She's going through a divorce. She's getting streamed every day by 8 different people. I know this is YouTube. I know it's the drama community. I know this is what it is. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is just lighten up a little bit. Please. You know, if something seriously happens to this girl, it's going to be on your head, your hands. Okay? Just stop. There's no need for it. You don't have to go this hard. Okay, seriously. She does not lie about what she has as far as her mental disabilities, her neck and all that. Yeah, she does weird things with her neck. Just tongue. Is it really? If it bothers you, why? Listen, half of your people in your chat are on Suboxone, methadone, opiates. Half of them are sick. I have studied everybody in your chat for months.
Okay, you dumb bitch. Once again, you do not lump people on Suboxone, methadone, and opioids, you fucking idiot. Educate yourself. When you're studying me, like I say, please like and subscribe. But when you're there, listen to my Suboxone story so you can get it through your head what it is. And then listen to me and Possum Wrangler talk about what it is to be on Suboxone. And then why don't you listen and read, since you want to take so many fucking screenshots, why don't you go and look at the chat that me and Possum Wrangler had, and why don't you see how many people talk about how Suboxone saved their lives? And maybe you can get it through your thick, fat ass that Michelle might want to tune in to how Suboxone might be a good solution to her many problems since she's been ruining people's lives for how long? Who cares what happened to her as a teenager? Who cares what happened to her as an adult? Did she have the right to go and ruin child after man after man after animal after friend after friend's lives? When is it going to stop? You want me to go toe to toe with her on what my trauma has been? And you want to see how I have never made anybody hurt because of it? I have worked so hard to make sure that all abuse stops in my generation. And it sounds like all she's done is make sure that it starts with her. Her children do seem like they're much more insightful than she is, despite the terrible hand she dealt them by continuing to be an addict and try to parent them. But you know what? She lost custody of her children from her abuse. She did all that. And you want to act like we're a lower class of people? You want to act like we're a lower class of people because we're taking Suboxone? You idiot. And how do you say Suboxone, methadone, and opioids in the same thing? And then saying they're sick. They're sick? The fuck is wrong with you? It makes sense why you chose Michelle. You must see a lot of yourself in her. Jabba the Hutt. Nasty.
Months. Okay, just as long as you've been streaming Michelle, I know a lot about you and your chatters. Okay, I don't sit there and say anything bad, and I won't. Okay, but I could. I'm not that person. Just please respect me.
Please.
Don't talk about me. This isn't my channel. I'm just trying to help a friend. Okay.
No,
so
you said
I
enough.
feel like I'm over talking Michelle.
No, go for it, girl. You go,
I'm
girl.
trying to be real because I'm so sick of being talked about.
Go for it.
Lisa C, Lisa C, Lisa C. What do you need to say?
You're a dumb cunt. That's what I want to say. You're a dumb cunt.
I don't see anybody talking.
You're a dumb cunt. You're a dumb cunt.
No one has nothing to say.
You're a dumb cunt, Lisa C. You're a dumb cunt, Lisa C. You're a dumb cunt, Lisa C. You're a dumb cunt, Lisa C.
I don't get it at all.
Oh, you're a dumb cunt. Seriously.
So,
you're a dumb cunt.
Michelle, no, there was no problem. They were just Trump.
What?
How many videos of how many are streamed on me over there, and how many hours?
So she started her channel in September of 2022.
She did not.
Fine. She has every right to start a channel. You do too, okay? We're not talking anything about that.
Wait.
But out of 310 videos, like the 80 that I could see are all about you, and they're like over 5 hours long, just about all of them. I think that's a little excessive. So for her to call you a white single female, back it up. Back it up. I'm not a cursor, so I'm not going to say back it up.
Oh, you're not a cursor. Oh, you're not a cursor.
Back it up a little bit, Lise, because that's a little excessive.
Okay. Don't call Lisa Lise. You're not in her friend list, I'm quite sure. I've not spoken to Lisa about this, but I can pretty much guarantee with all of the problems that you've caused, Lisa cunt, that you're not on the level, well, where you can call her Lise. And what you have now done is that you have caused somebody to go to Lise, Lisa's, Lisa, Lisa, Lisa's daughter's employer. This is the problem. You want to act like you're Christian and you want to act like you don't cuss and you're so far above everybody else. And half of us are on Suboxone and methadone and opioids, acting like we're below Michelle. Like I say, you fat, nasty bitch. What do you see? What do you see in Michelle that makes you so attracted to her, lest I say? Attracted. You disgust me. You absolutely disgust me. And it takes a lot to disgust me, but you disgust me, Lisa C. So if you want to say that, oh, no one can come up and talk to you and no one can say anything, it's just because it wasn't the right time for me. And I don't go back and forth and I won't go back and forth with you. I have said what I need to say after hearing this. You nasty. I was wondering who was putting all of this into Michelle's head. And now to see it's you. How much money have you given Michelle? How much money have you given her? How much money have you given Michelle, you nasty fat bitch? Huh? You don't have anything to say?
Back a little bit, Lise, because that's
Lise.
a little obsessive. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And you're the authority?
Stupid. We're not stupid. And
You
we're
are
not saying you
stupid.
don't do it. Make your money, girl. So it shouldn't bother you. Seriously. Like I said, nothing against you. I really don't. I don't have anything against any of you people. I see what you can't. You clip me, put my name up there. You know my away. You know I'm going for a while. I don't need that. If I wanted to be on display, I'd make my own channel, which I might.
No,
Okay.
yay, go
But I don't want
ahead.
to be displayed. Okay. I want to come up here tonight and get this out because it's bothering me. I'm grieving. And Michelle's my friend. I
What a
talk to
friend.
her just like I talk to everybody else in
What a
my life
friend.
daily. I care about her. I am trying to make her a better person, show her love.
So you, Lisa Cunt, are a grieving mother, and you chose this bitch to cling on to because you feel that she represents other grieving mothers in a way that you respect. And you, while you're grieving, have sat here and screenshotted 800 screenshots and counted how many videos are about Michelle when Michelle has said the most nasty, vile, and disgusting things about her own baby that has passed. When you are a person with an ounce of empathy, a mother with empathy, and you have faced that unspeakable pain, you want to make sure that you go forth into the world and make sure that nobody ever feels that pain again. You want to try to fix the world. You want to make it better. And instead, you have Michelle who wishes that pain on everybody that will listen to her long enough. And you want to support that in every sense of the word. How much money have you given this demon, Lisa Kant? I want to know.
Trying to make her a better person, show her love, and I think she's gotten better. You know, quitting drinking is not easy. An addiction is an addiction, and you all know it. So stop. Because nobody is. We all know that. Okay? It's not easy. And to get this much stress put on her, okay?
Oh, poor baby Michelle.
Seriously, stop. What she said about your children, I don't even remember if it was your daughter getting, go back and watch, or maybe me and you can talk. When she gets clowny, I tell her what she does sometimes is not. And now crafting through life.
Oh!
I'm just sorry. I'm so sick of it. It, and your language, your chat. I don't know how y'all can just.
Let me say it again.
Stop.
You're a cunt.
You're obsessed.
You're a cunt.
Well. Your whole channel is Michelle.
You're a cunt.
And what's the other one there? About that one today, Michelle. Who is she? The one that does the parodies.
Tragic.
Tragic. Okay. Now, she says she's a great person. She does like for the homeless and all that. That's so awesome. That's something I do. Okay.
Yeah, right. Right. Okay, listen to this fat, humongous sloth. I like sloths. So I shouldn't have said. I'm sorry, sloths. I should not have done that. I'm just saying that the way that this person will not get the point out is like very, very slow. It's like, you know, that if you were in front of her, you'd be like, oh my God, you were that fat kid that took everybody's lunch and sat in the back of the bus and smelled and okay, you are that one. So yeah, you sit back there, because you are also the person whose behavior was unacceptable, if you will, because what you have done here is you've created more of a monster. You have single-handedly taken what Michelle was starting to feel was a place where she could go and get sober, and then you stopped it. Then you enabled her some more, and you gave her that mommy love, because Michelle wants that mommy love. She wants that mommy daddy love. She wants that because of her behavior, because you can see when she talks like it. So you've given her that mommy daddy love, right? But how much money has that cost you, and why are you doing it? You have not helped her to get sober. You have not helped her to change her behavior. You have not helped her to develop a plan. This little alimony thing was for her to get a plan so that she could be self-sufficient. I guess she can be your new baby. And maybe that's what this is. And then you, Lisa Cunt, can go and have the demon Michelle, feral Michelle, as your baby. And the two of you can go and live together, and you can sit there and you can scold her for her outrageous, terrible behavior every single day. Because that's what it's going to be, because you are enabling her. She is not going to stop. She's not listened to a word you've said. You say that, oh, she's been better. No, she just waits till you're not looking. You do have to sleep every once in a while, Jabba the Hutt. Don't you just close your eyes? Okay? You disgust me the way that you've talked about people, and you've put this in her head. You put this in her head about Suboxone, because Michelle is nothing. She doesn't have the ability to form a whole entire thought. What goes into one ear comes out the mouth. So what you told her about people on Suboxone has been what she has now used as a weapon. Okay? She has used it as a weapon. Again, go and listen to my Suboxone story and then shut your fat mouth.
Okay. That's beautiful.
You're not.
Then what does she do? She goes on and makes complete in fun of you. Like, how is that being a good person? She goes overboard with her laugh. With everything she does, she goes overboard on making fun of you. Knowing that you're stressed out through a divorce, ready to lose your house, with your mental.
Okay, and why is she losing her house? Because it was never her house to begin with. She didn't contribute to it in any way, shape, or form. She was not allowed to be on the damn loan because she had claimed bankruptcy before. She lived in something similar to a trailer, if it was even a trailer at all. She lived in a freaking haven of sex offenders, okay? When she was just, one of the girls of the night, one of the ladies of the night, if you will. She couldn't even be on the loan of the house, okay? That's how bad her credit was. And yeah, she's claimed bankruptcy before. I listened to everything, and I've listened to everything she's ever said. So she's doxed herself. I might as well just read off what she said. So anyway, she lived in a real shitty shit bin before. So then once ETN decided to try and make a hoe into a housewife, and it didn't work. Once or twice after they refinanced it, he put her on the title. This was not her earning anything to be there. The only thing that she's ever been able to put forth is the SSI, the taxes. So we all own that as taxpayers. We own that house then because we're taxpayers putting into that house. She's not. So don't sit there, you fat Jabba the Hutt, Lisa can't sit there. Oh, well, she's losing her house and she's getting a divorce and she's losing her house. Guys, just lighten up, and well, who's this tragic? She wants to do this and says she does this for the homeless and then she does a fuck you. She does do, and she does show. She shows what she's going out and doing for the homeless. Can you do the same? If and until then, fuck off. Okay? Why don't you start your channel and why don't you mimic what Tragic does and show what you do for the homeless? I think that would be wonderful since you want to get your little wings up. Oh, God, this is what you're doing. Oh, my God. You said you wanted to start a channel. You're the one starting channels for this nasty bitch, aren't you? Because once YouTube did exactly as they were supposed to, and they took the step that they rarely take, but they blocked the ISP. The only way that she could get another channel was from going to libraries and whatnot and starting them. Well, that got shut down pretty quick. So then it had to be from somebody's house. Well, you damn bitch, why don't you listen to what I was talking about the Facebook bully from hell and how her internet service provider was found culpable and it went back on the house. So, Lisa Cunt, do you want your house or whatever it is that you dwell in to be taken away? Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to co sign for every single action that she's taking. Okay? Now, Tragic. She doesn't realize it, but her first channel was taken down at the same time mine was. I've never talked to Tragic. I liked her first channel, and it was taken down. It was taken down at the same time mine was. She just started as Tragic too. Tragic Tales, or Tragic Wives 2, whatever. Okay. I've reached out to her. She's never reached out to me. I think that she's a beautiful, wonderful person. And I don't think that, well, you're sitting there trying to act like you're better than everybody, doing a what would Jesus do, and that you're just trying to get everybody to just back off a little bit and be a good person, that you have any right to talk about her at all. You're disgusting. You are worse than anybody on here with your holier than thou. You know the kind of, all of us, I am envisioning exactly the person you are, the person that gets the eye rolls, the person people just walk away from. You are that Aunt Martha that people are just like, oh God, you don't want her to go, but she's going to bring the biggest gift. So you just shut your mouth and let Aunt Martha come. Yeah, she's going to eat all of the cake and give your kids kisses and pinch their cheeks, but you gotta let her go because she's the one who's gonna give them those Christmas gifts. Yeah, y'all have an Aunt Martha. Well, this is Aunt Martha right now with her Project Michelle. So what you've been doing is you've been the one who's starting these little channels for Michelle just so that you can get practice for when you want to be a creator yourself, right? You can start your own channel. You've been watching how it's done for so long. Yeah. Okay. How dare you talk about Tragic? What the hell is wrong with you? Tragic is actually beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. And that's why she shows herself. I'm butt ugly and fat. The internet doesn't need one more butt ugly fat woman on here. Okay, I'm just saving y'all. I'm just saying it. That's just the way that it is. It is. Can I lose some weight and slap on some makeup? Yeah, but I've outgrown my looks, which once were maybe somewhat okay, but they're not anymore. But Tragic is beautiful, and so she shows herself as she should, as a beautiful woman, and she is compassionate in the way that because she'll laugh at Michelle. She's just like, okay, when you are taking care of, I don't know, whatever. Let's say that you have an ant farm and you have this one ant that's just an asshole. And you're like, there's that ant doing that stuff again. That ant's going to get mad at that because that ant is going to get mad at that wall because it's going into that wall again. It's like that. Tragic is funny in the way that she is kind and compassionate. She wouldn't hurt a soul, and you can see that. She has brought laughter because Michelle's actions, yeah, they're horrible. Okay? She's created a lot of pain for a lot of people. But creators like Tragic have done a beautiful service in putting that satire there. I can't right now. My mind isn't right. I am still having a lot of problems, like I say, from my COVID brain. I don't have my humor right now. Just going through a lot of stuff. And so my humor isn't there, but Tragic did her best. Kind of like when Saturday Night Live used to be good. Um, we would have whatever it was. I mean, there were very few things that we couldn't ultimately joke about. Okay. Um, at the end of the week by Saturday Night Live. And some people are just that way that, they need to be just, ugh. Burnt Toast, like I say, my favorite creator, is amazing at just kind of covering and watching people, and that's all Tragic is doing. Tragic is just watching Farrell, and she does it. She does her satire, and the way that she talks is entertaining, and she's forthcoming, and she's vulnerable, and she doesn't have anything to hide. She's forthcoming. What the hell is wrong with you to make fun of her? And you know what? I have said that Michelle is beautiful too. I do think that Michelle has a way about her that she could be very beautiful. Her eyes are absolutely. What do you say? I don't like. I say. I want to say that that she's got he. What do you call it? He had a chromalo, where one eye is one color and the other is the other. Jane Seymour, one of my favorite actresses, has it as well. Michelle's eyes are absolutely gorgeous, and with the dark hair, I'm sure that Michelle could pull things off earlier because her looks and her, maybe she had a cute personality once. I don't know. I'm sure that her looks helped her to get away with some of the shit that she's done in her life. Okay, but because of the horrible living conditions and the meth scabs, and yes, she has talked about herself being on meth before. That's not, she goes back and forth on it, but no, those of us who watch, we watch, and we know everything that she's said. So those meth sores and whatnot, they're very, very difficult to ever fix on the skin. Her skin has pock marks and whatnot. So if you're going to talk about Tragic's skin, you might want to look at Michelle's skin in the light when she's there living with you. Because, like I said, she's going to be your baby. Your baby. You can feed her and give her all of her opioids and everything. It'd be so nice.
Ready to lose your house with your mental disabilities. You're a protected group, but
Okay.
she's helping homeless.
What protected group is Michelle in? Because there's another video out there where Michelle sits there and says that she hasn't drank, done any drugs, done anything or anything else, and that she works as an insurance adjuster. So now, which protected group is Michelle in? Because she says that she isn't quite often. All about just loving your new baby, your demon child.
People, but she's making it fun of you. Make that make sense how that's a good person. And honestly, skin is way prettier than hers. And I'm not even trying to be rude, but I am so people talking about your looks. I think you're a very pretty girl. I'd like to see everybody cam up. Everybody cam up. Because when she even said she doesn't wear makeup, okay? I think you guys are equally as pretty. I think your skin is a little prettier, Michelle. I'm just being honest. Okay, so stop with the hate. Stop. And I know a lot of you guys are sick on YouTube. That's why you're home 24/7 watching it, because you're sick. You have illnesses. Okay?
But we don't get SSI
Life
because
is
there's
way too short
feeds.
for this to just go this far. Yeah, clown people, have fun, make your money. But there's so much in this world everywhere you turn. It's time to just like, pretty soon YouTube isn't even,
You
you
think
gotta
it
turn
is
it on.
now?
There's gonna be nobody left. You know. Anyhow, what else? Go ahead, say something, Michelle. Any questions?
I'm just letting you do your roar, baby. Roar, baby, roar.
Look, I have the same cup too, and I've never drank a day in my life, so Target $9.99.
Roar, baby, roar.
Anyway,
Get it off. Come
no,
on.
I'm just.
Go for it, Lisa. I'm being silent because you are dominating.
Did I ever enable my son? Did you enable your son like you do meth head? Fonzie 79.
Oh, fucking piece of shit. I hope you die, and I fucking mean it.
79.
I hope you die.
So Michelle, stop.
No, I hope you fucking die, you piece of
I'm
shit.
not muted, Golden Gypsy. Maybe Lisa's muting your chat. Excuse me.
I apologize, Lisa. I hope you fucking die, Fonzie. You know what they were insinuating, Lisa?
What?
They were insinuating that your son overdosed.
No, my son didn't OD. That's not even true. So we're not going to discuss my son. My son passed November 22nd. That's how I know Roni is who she is, because it's not the same year, but
Okay. So that's that shit show. Okay. Now, I just have a problem. Here comes burnt toast is on my next video because I'll watch burnt toast nonstop. Um, how on earth is that woman going to come and patronize and excuse and dismiss everybody like that because they're on Suboxone? Hmm? So now the next video that I have not listened to this, so this is raw. I just saw this here on Possum Wranglers, and it says, "Why Tragic's Wise called Lisa C a twat waffle." Ah, let's listen to this. This is raw. This is raw. Let's listen.
talking about that one today.
Here we go.
Oh, I was just talking about that one today, Michelle. Who is she? The one that does
Tragic.
tragic. Okay. Now, she says she's a great person. She does like for the homeless and all that. That's so awesome. That's something I do. Okay. That's beautiful. Okay. Then
Oh,
what
I
does she
see.
do? She goes on.
I see. So, Possum Wrangler put it there so it'd be like, oh, okay, this is why. Okay. Okay. So Tragic has already been on the case and she's called her a twat waffle, and I have went ahead and took it to the next level just because you don't know what C stands for. I'm just gonna say it stands for cunt because how dare you? Like I say, you know nothing about Suboxone, you know nothing about me, you know nothing about how that could actually really help a person like Michelle, and that is why I came forward with my Suboxone story because Michelle is being so irresponsible with all that she has flung upon our internet community. That it would just be nice if something good could come of it. If somebody else who's struggling in whatever way they are with pain, with addiction, Suboxone is for a variety of reasons. There's many off-label uses for it, and mine is off label as mine is for chronic pain. Now, there are others who are on it for addiction and whatnot, and that does not make them any lesser of a person. For this bitch to act like people are less than Michelle because this, like, what the fuck? Um, so yeah, you can see in here I did this. And then let's see here, was this? I think she was talking about people in trailers, and like I say, Michelle, you dumb bitch, you claimed bankruptcy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's often a business decision. I think that well, I don't know if I was going to say I think Trump has. I don't know if it's if you consider it like Trump's companies have or whatnot. I mean, very rich business people do that as a part of business. So I'm not saying anything about it. What I am saying is that Michelle, when you sit there and act like people are below you, that you have so much and you've done so much, you claim bankruptcy. You claim bankruptcy. You claim bankruptcy after all that's been given to you. You claimed bankruptcy, so you couldn't even buy that house. You were not on the title of that house unless and until the second or third refinancing of that house when you were put on the title by ETN. Like, God knows what you were doing to him. You probably had his nuts in a freaking vice, or you had a gun on him again. What the hell would he have put you on the title for? My God. I mean, I guess it would have been seen as marital property, so there probably wouldn't have been. Well, I don't know. I don't know the laws of that state. I don't know. I mean, most of us are going to have to claim bankruptcy by the time this is all over from a pandemic and everything else. Um, Let me see. I wanted to, where she was talking about, I wonder if I can find this, um, where she was talking about why she faked the stroke. Have you guys looked at that one? I don't want that. Go away. Go away. Do you guys get that all the time? Best of truth. Okay. Let's see if I can find this because this was a real gem too. Fuck you, Michelle. Exactly. 3 minutes ago. Okay, so Lisa just did that. And then, oh, more of, okay, now, oh, I guess that's mine. Let's see. Thunder Cunt Tuesday, Michelle. Bags and fake. Okay, this is it. This one was just. Let me see if I have to shut that one. This one was absolutely, oh, horrible. Thunder Cunt Tuesday. Oh, I love it. Oh shit, she did it to members only. Oh shit. So it won't show. Oh, maybe. Okay, so it had Michelle's little freaking sob story. Let me see. Maybe this won't work. It was when. Is this it? Yeah, now it won't show. I wanted it to show where Michelle was blabbing about why she needed to lie about she said she had to lie about her stroke because her best friend was dying. Okay. She's like, look at the picture of my friend at my wedding and look at the picture. You see why I had to say that I had a stroke? Because otherwise people would have called me. They would have called me because they know that I'm her best friend. And you see this picture of her? Oh, what else was I supposed to say? I had to go away. I couldn't let anybody call me. No, that's not normal. Oh, but she's in a protected class. She's borderline. Oh, does she? Then why has she never once ever uttered a word that a borderline would know? Oh, because when she got her SSI, it was just given to her, just like everything else. That her mommy called a couple of psychiatrists, and then she just got her SSI, SSDI paperwork, and she was rewarded money for going in and acting like a crazy person. Is that what we're saying now? I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, because today's Wednesday, so. Oh, best of truths. You silly. I wanted to show that. I wanted to show that. Let me see, because it. Let me see. I wanted. Let me see. So she privated it. Sorry, accidentally ended. Um. Yeah, when you want to find out the truth, go to the good Lisa's channel. Lise, as Lisa the cunt said. Go over here because she's got it all. Oh wow. Look at when Ski's sitting there like that, it looks like his crotch is like way down to his knee. Look at that. It looks like a big hairy furry crotch down there at his knee. Look at that. Look at this picture. When I touch on it, it goes, oh, I touch the picture. I'm touching the picture. Look at this. Like right there. The video of Ski Mask, Mr. Nobody. Look at that. It looks like the way that the shadowing is, it looks like he has a knee crotch. Let me see. Oh, I wanted that. Lisa, get a hold of me and have me on your panel and let me go through um, Michelle talking about why she had to fake her stroke. Let me see here. So, Yeah, I don't think I can see it. You guys see the contempt bullshit of Michelle filing contempt? That was freaking hilarious. She's an idiot. Um, let me see if the paper is there.
Oh, let's just do the damn thing, and then we'll talk about everything in a little bit.
Let me see.
Oh my god, my voice on my other phone. I hate it.
Okay.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, she's literally. Now you guys, she's opening her screen like me.
Let me see.
I always be like, hey, 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 hey. Now she'd be like, hey, 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 hey.
Over
Yep.
here.
A little freaky.
Exactly.
I'm so tired, Dave.
Michelle is stalking.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. I want to do this. Take it back.
I want to see
Hey,
because
Yeah,
Lisa put in the paperwork.
of your bond. So for about $120, she's gonna be released on the bonds because it's $1,000.
Let me see. Let me see what this idiot's saying.
That will be blacked out. I'm not gonna book your room. That's one week first. Sydney first, and then that's
What?
that went through my bank account, but I blacked out my other transactions. You know, all that black is other transactions, and the black on the bottom is other transactions, like my deposit, my balances.
It's nice having her sped up.
Hey, pharmacy, how you really?
Do that.
That's how I listen to her because I
Everybody's so
can't.
excited.
So you can't say you're a liar. There's my bank account, there's my receipts, but I blacked out like my balances and all that and other transactions because I don't want you to know other transactions that I've made. You don't need to know about other things I've paid for, because that's actually none of your business. It has nothing to do with the liquor store. I just don't want you to know where I shop. I don't want you to know the Circle K that I go to get my gas and things like that.
Oh my god, you've already shown it
I
all.
wanted to show you that I booked it. I said I was booking it on me first. You see the hot reservation.
What?
No, you can't see the transaction, honey? Yeah, it says me.
I don't know. I was hoping that as Lisa showed. Okay. Let's see. Let me see here if I can.
5 minutes away working. And Jim and I were married, and we were at the house in Diamond Head, and I did not want to leave Taylor. And so he promised me, as long as I got up and peed, he would release me. And I made a big stink. Imagine me making a big stink in a hospital. Imagine that.
Yeah,
imagine. So around 7, 8 o'clock, I got up and I peed. And they're like, no, you're staying overnight. And I'm like, no. My doctor said if I got up and peed, you were going to release me. You're going to release me now.
God.
So they wanted to keep me overnight. And I was like, no.
Shut
You
up.
said as long as I peed, I was going home. They were like, the doctor's not on call now. I'm like, fucking call him. Call him, because he promised me as long as I peed, I could go home. So they discharged me around 8, 9 o'clock that night. No, I wasn't running on adrenaline or survival mode. I wasn't hurt.
Okay, I'm trying to see if Lisa put the divorce, the new contempt stuff in here, just so I wanted to see it.
Like, it felt like I was bouncing on springs.
Okay.
I didn't even realize I was flipping in my car. It happened so fast. It just felt like I was on springs, and I was just bouncing. I didn't even realize I had flipped.
Okay. So coincidentally, this has to be, so what, this is about her neck. So what, your neck surgery was outpatient? That's crazy. You were surviving on adrenaline. What? No, it was, yeah, she wasn't going to not make that wedding because I'm sure that ETN had probably tried to back out like 5,200 times. If you look at ETN in the wedding video that I showed, does that look like a happy man, happy to be marrying that thing? He looks like he's looking at her like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm sure that, it was what he was thinking. So he probably, like, there was like this divine intervention, right? Where something happened to her where she hurt her neck or whatever and had to have surgery supposedly. And they were like, no, you need to stay. You need to stay. And ETN was like, oh, but this means I won't be able to get married today. Maybe this is a sign. And she's like, I want to get out. And they're like, you have to pee. And she's like, ew, watch me piss. Ew. She was. But I'm just going to let this go for a second, and then I'll end this if it isn't there. I just wanted to show you guys the documents if I could really quick, because her trying to put together this contempt was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, I suggest it's a must read. Let me see here.
But they were going to keep me overnight for my neck surgery, but they released me at like 8:30, 9 o'clock that night. They did my surgery at probably like 8 in the morning, and they released me 12 hours later.
So what?
Well, that's what happened with your husband's 2 brain stent surgeries. He hates hospitals and threw a fit, and they let him go. Right, and he was fine. They promised me as long as I got up and I peed that they were going to release me, and I was like, I peed. Okay, discharge me. And they're like, well, your doctor's not on call. We'll discharge you in the morning. I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to stay here. I want to go home. My kids are home. I want to go home. My kids are home. Release me.
Tim.
And they were like, well, your doctor's not on call. I'm like, well, you best call him.
Tim.
You best get him on the phone because he promised me, and I'm leaving. I'm going to AMA if you do not release me. And they called him because I made a big enough stink, and he said discharge her, and so I went home that night.
She's such a psycho, dude. Sorry, guys, I slowed the chat. I'm just trying to get through this so we don't have to go upload it and all that crap. But we gotta talk because she's such an idiot. She went to file papers on ATN and she pretty much filed them on herself. Wait till you guys see this shit.
So yeah, so Lisa's
So
gonna
I guess
show
it
him.
would have kept me overnight, but I made a big stink. And I was like, you promised.
Oh,
You
you made a
promised.
big
I've got up. I have
stink.
urine.
Oh,
It's time to go home.
wonderful. Oh, and then everybody wants to just
But your
help her.
husband's
Oh
worth it with
yes,
his two
you were
brain
in
stem surgeries.
shock.
Yeah, I did not want to stay in the
So your
hospital. At
body
that time, I was
reacted
like,
in leaving the
I
wreck
want to go
and a
home. I want
few
to lay in my
weeks
bed.
later. Oh, so she was in a
You had the
car
surgery and you can't bend your
accident.
neck. Yeah, so
Oh,
I
sure,
had a
she
really
got
good
a
surgeon and I
Oh
went
my
lawsuit.
God. I
and
know.
I lost like, I don't know, 2
I'm like bored with this.
or
Yes.
4%. Like I can turn it all the way this
Shut
way.
up.
This way is as much as I can turn it.
Because she
So
wants
I can't
people to
hold
feel
a cordless
sorry
phone
for her.
with my head. Like I can't hold a cordless phone with this head, but I can do it with this one. But I haven't lost much mobility
Oh,
at all.
wow. You can move your chicken head that much.
Yeah, I got really lucky.
Yeah,
I should be
20
alive.
years ago they wouldn't have done
And
that.
I just did that and I got a headache.
So this
Yeah,
is
I
what it
remember
yeah.
is.
more this way than this way. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to stay on long. I've been on 47 minutes. Want to discuss Ski's arrest. I got a lot accomplished today and yesterday. A lot of things I needed accomplished. And I booked my flight yesterday. Yeah,
And she accomplished everything wrong. Wait till y'all see this shit.
you were
Yes,
in
wait
shock,
till
so
you
your
see
body
it.
rejected
I'm
and leaving
done.
the wreck. A few weeks later, yeah, that might have been what it was. But I had plans. I mean, we flew to Negril, Jamaica.
Okay, so everybody wants to sit there and back her up about how
They told my
wonderful
husband
it
that the
was
pain
that
was
she left.
manageable
You
without
guys
IV.
don't.
Right.
You don't
I
even
didn't
know.
have IV
You
pain
don't
meds.
even
They
know.
didn't give me IV pain meds. I don't remember if they even
you
ever
don't-
gave me IV pain meds, honey.
Why do people
I don't think they ever gave me IV pain
coddle
meds.
her?
Maybe they did, maybe they don't. I mean, it was so long ago. It was like, I want to say
Shut up.
2007 or like 9.
Let me see.
I don't even know if I should even tell her. I should keep my fucking mouth shut.
Let me see
If
here.
you know she ask you.
Okay,
Miss Monroe,
she's got this. Let me see.
Jesse's girl. It's fucking hilarious. Bridget gifted memberships? Why can't I see them on my TV? I'm very sorry, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Bridget, for the 5. Let's read. Hey, Hell Alive. So if you guys want to support my stream, PayPal, Cash,
Okay.
Fiction. This is the box she checked.
Okay.
So
There
he
we go. Look
purges
at this.
himself on this contempt.
This is so funny. This is so funny. Let me see. Okay. So she's putting contempt on ETN because she says, what? Deflect over by electronic, oh, it does say electronic. You can hardly even see it. Electronic means told another YouTuber I was a prostitute has now been spread all over the internet and has defamed me and destroyed my credibility. Petitioner. You can hardly even read her handwriting. So this is what she put this contempt on ETN, saying that he was in contempt because she's saying that, so that's how she spells petitioner, which you can't even read her shit, right? She said petitioner by electronic means. It looks like it says electric, I don't know, and then MIANS. She can't read her handwriting. Told another YouTuber I was a prostitute that has now been spread all over the internet and has defamed me and destroyed my credibility. Okay, ETN was not the one going on other people's chats, interjecting themselves into the most sensitive subjects of a case. Trying, if you guys don't know, she went in and she started interjecting herself into a situation of a social media couple. You know what? I have done videos on the couple. Okay, so if you want to look up what I'm talking about Vaughn, Dre McRae and Vaughn. So when Molly and Justin were talking about whether or not Dre was involved in the attempt at unaliving Vaughn, Michelle would call up and be crying and talk about the details of her sensitive subject. She would be crying and talking about the details of her baby that had passed away's eyeballs and how they looked in the autopsy. Okay, this is how it started. And she'd be crying and crying about her baby that died of SIDS and crying and crying. So she would take the whole trajectory of the conversation and everything away. And then after she did it a few times, people were like, okay, she really detracts from the subject and the way that this conversation is going. This is not appropriate to have here. And so she started getting this hate. So people felt very sorry for her. So then she went on and she started getting a lot of sympathy from a lot of different people. Uh, Molly's assistant, Robin, then went with Michelle and helped Michelle start her own channel. Okay, that's the long and the short of how this all started. And then Michelle, she was drinking and she was doing her shit. And so she saw this whole new group of people who were sympathetic to her because she had done that. She had had the loss of an infant. So she preyed on those people who had lost an infant and who had suffered loss. So she started becoming, oh, this girl that was just like them, who they could talk to, and she was talking. And then she said she was a victim of domestic violence at the hands of a military man. So then she had those people there too. So then she was preying on those people. And so then she needed money and needed money and needed money. So all these people started giving her attention and money. And before she knew it, she had hit the jackpot. Okay. Then she, built in Etienne's suicide, Etienne's brother's suicide, and was playing on that. So she played on all of those things and had all of those things. And all of these people had raw and open wounds to this one place they could go and have what they thought was a place where they could all connect. What it all was Michelle trying to get money out of all of them, and she succeeded. Penelope at this time simultaneously came and said, no, this is not what happened. This is what happened, and this is who and what Michelle is. Okay, so that's what happened. As Michelle would drink, the more she would talk. And as Michelle would drink, the more she would act out and act outrageous, as has been the course of the last 40 years of her life. She, of course, was exposed as the prostitute that she is because she herself had talked about it. She herself had bragged about being a prostitute that was so wonderful, or escort, that was paid $500 an hour to go all over the world and be treated by men wonderfully, only for company, that she never needed to exchange sex of any kind. Not of any kind, that her company alone was worth $500 an hour. She was that marvelous of a person. Okay? So she did that. Has anybody seen ETN come on any surface, anywhere, on any social media and say anything about her? Of course not. And of course, almost the opposite, in that ETN is very silent. Now, one of the creators did reach out to one of her ex husbands, and he was questioned about some of the things. So I still have not listened to all of it. I've listened to a portion of it. Um, and so I don't know. But as you can see, this is a complete lie. She's once again trying to clog up the court system to get what she wants by her lies. Now, if she didn't have a whole community of us going, you know what, you're not getting away with one more thing, then what would she get away with? If there weren't people like Penelope in the world who can create beautiful PowerPoints to put the simple things out in front of us, where would we be? Thank you, Penelope, for all that you did and the road that you paved, and I'm sorry that you experienced all of the hate as such. I hope that I have helped in taking some of that hate off of you, because let me tell you, I get quite a bit. But I'd gladly take it, and I'd gladly take it over and over so that you don't have to, because you dealt with so much of it and it wasn't fair, and I'm sorry for what happened to you. And I will gladly take it and take it over for you. I will carry this torch onward as the truth. So this was just hilarious. So she went through here and she had to cross out all of these things. And now I think that it's actually, there's this debate going back and forth, because they said that ETN had put contempt on her. And then it came back that it wasn't ETN putting it, that it was actually her that filed. Going back and forth, because now she's saying that it is just listed this way because ETN is the one who ultimately filed for the divorce. So any contempt that comes down is put under the listing of the petitioner. But of course, you can't tell what she says is true or not. It looked to me like ETN filed contempt. I have been told it's hers. So I don't know, but here's the receipts, and I will of course thank Best of You Truths for putting this up. And let me see here if we can go to the next page. So now I don't have the top here. So it shows respondent is ETN. So it says here motion for contempt. So this looks like she put contempt. Now, did he put something earlier? Did he say she needs to get the fuck out of the house? And I don't have those documents. It could be. And then she did this in response because you know she's Michelle and she does everything the way that she wants, right? So she did this. Oh, this is that first page there where it says, and it says, now comes Michelle Sabate, motion for contempt. Petitioner in the above styled action and files this petition for citation of contempt and shows the court as follows. So if we go up here where he is respondent, then she would be the petitioner. Now she went through and crossed it off because she's an idiot and didn't have the right paperwork. I doubt that somebody would have said go and cross out everything. They would have just handed her the correct paperwork. But who knows, right? So then she puts the civil action number, and I don't know if that's the actual divorce thing, just because I don't have the paperwork in front of me right now. But the case name Sabate versus Sabate. Oh, isn't it just like every other word? But you know, I never saw real love. I can't say that I ever saw him truly looking at her like there was love. When the thing she's like, oh, we crowd surfed together. She figured out a way for her to look like the biggest ass out of everybody. She figured out a way for there to be a crowd situation where she made ETN have to lay flat and have people hold him up so he if anybody moved he would have a massive head trauma or worse, and she walks all over him as she walks all over him any other time, and that was her version of crowd surfing. So can you imagine if you spent good money to go to this concert and here you know the singer the main act is there and they're singing, and you've got some jackass in the middle of everything pulling this. And she, I mean, honestly, she looks like the Wicked Witch of the West. She looks like the witch in in the Wizard of Oz. When you look at her, when she's like trying to get stable, I wish somebody, hey, people who can do a meme, can you please put a broomstick between her knees and like show her as like the Wicked Witch of the West? Put some little striped socks on her and everything, like right after the house fell on her. Like she looks like that. So then we go over here. And okay, so on top, the petitioner would be him. And then she says, versus Michelle Sabate, respondent. And then Rule Missy, okay, whatever, civil action, blah, blah, blah. May 17th at 2023 at 9:30 to show 2nd of May. Okay. So she's got court on May 17th. So 1 week from today. Did I miss anything? Oh, yeah, I did. And of course, she doesn't dox herself, right? We know that she's been showing she's been showing this paperwork all over, so um I'm not doxing anybody. These are public, and um she put these up and they were also obtained. And these are public documents. So May 17th, we'll have to see what happens. There's something in there about okay. So it's contempt. So post judgment, check one case. Okay, so post judgment, so it would be in that initial thing. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Here's this other page. This is hilarious. She's putting him in contempt, saying he failed to do any ordered home repairs, decks, upstairs repairs in a timely manner, refused to allow petitioner to rent Airbnb or have a roommate to help with bills, has defamed petitioner by electronic means calling her a prostitute. on. Come on. Come on. So here we see this, that ETN may be like doing some stuff behind the scenes. Like, you're not letting anybody else live in there. You're not doing this and this, because I'm sure that she came up with this cockamamie idea of having a roommate pay all of the bills. You know, she would have made him pay like all of the house payment and everything so she could live for free, because she saw Molly doing the Airbnb and she wanted to become Molly. She saw Molly as this worldly woman. She wanted to become Molly, and that's how this all became. And Molly had a lot of different things going for her. And like I say, Molly's behavior and Molly's ways that she's not forthcoming with the questionable finances and many things are why I do not like Molly. But Michelle wanted to become Molly. And how come Lisa Cunt didn't have any problems with Michelle trying to make fun of Molly in the parodies, huh? How come have why would she approve of all the things that Michelle has done and just act like anybody's just they're just coming down a little too hard on her? Just back it up. Just back it up. Of the language. Of the language. So anyway, I thought this was hilarious because she's the one who, remember when she said that, oh, she fired, because she started all the problems with the people with Service Pro. She fired them. Oh, I forgot I fired them. Oh, well, it's not my fault that the basement flooded. I mean, I left the faucet on. I mean, was the water supposed to do that? Was the water supposed to go all over? I mean, I didn't flood it. Yeah, I left the faucet on. Ugh. She was drunk. You idiot. So, because ETN did not have people in there, obviously, ETN might be just like keeping the check from the flood and everything else and just sitting back and wondering if this place is going to be condemned. I mean, straight up condemned. And it could be because of all the infestation, but he has to get those guns out of there ASAP, because otherwise, then he is still being part of the problem. I have given him extreme sympathy and talked about him wonderfully to this point. To this point, I'm just saying that it is his responsibility to get those guns out of there and stop enabling her as well. Everybody needs to stop enabling this absolute freaking demon. I mean, I am just beyond. I have taken so much shit for speaking out about her and whatnot and all of the hate that I get and everything. I'm not making any money on it. So you know what? I am going to speak freely tonight, and I did. So let me see here. So that was it. So that's what I've been up to. That's my little I wish I could have shown you guys the other thing, but I just can't find it. So let me see. Go back to my dragonfly. So hope you guys are all well. Thank you so much for listening. Hope we can all get back to our regularly programmed shows very soon here. I'll be out of town for the weekend again, and people are like, "Don't tell people when you're out of town." I never do, and it's because there are at least 4 adults in my home when I am not home. So it's not like I'm leaving my home with nobody in it. And I was one of those people I never ever would say when I was out of town anytime, on Facebook or anything like that, until I was well back. I'm not the kind of person who does that. So I know you guys are always looking out for me, but remember, I know what I'm doing here. So let me know how you guys are doing. Email me. I miss you all. I'm sorry I've been out of touch. I'm trying to put one step in front of the other. I'm getting better. I'm gonna do this. Alrighty? So I'll talk to you guys again in about a week. Have a great week. Bye bye.